Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about varnishing paintings. I have so many in my studio that I need to finish, and I had used resin on quite a few of them, but it's so messy and can be so sticky and such. It took me a while to actually figure it all out, and I'm just not ready to make that mess again right now. And as many as I've got to finish and varnish, I watched a video, and I believe it was Michelle from Grateful Creations, helped me so much to figure this out because I wasn't sure what else I should use so I wouldn't get brush strokes, yada yada yada. So she uses the Josana. It's a polyurethane gloss varnish that she uses. It might look different in different containers. This is just a big container of it, but it's the gloss varnish by Josana, and it's a water-based polyurethane varnish. So I'm reading on here that you don't need to dilute it. You just pour it straight on and work with it the way it is. However, Michelle is diluting hers. She is actually doing a 50% water, 50% Josana. I've gone ahead and done like a 60-40, you might say. And already put down on these paintings 2 coats. So I was fearful for the brush strokes and what from doing something else, and it's coming out just beautifully. Do you see this little gloss on there? This particular one was a crazy Dutch, is what I call it, a crazy Dutch, where I just blow the paint in every direction and then try to do a Dutch pour up top, which I'm pretty lousy at, by the way, so don't judge. It's the varnish that I'm working on right now. So I've got 2 coats on this, and I'm thinking about putting a 3rd one on there. And the same thing with this one, which I hate this painting, just saying. My husband loves it. And I have 2 coats on there now, and you see it's got such a nice gloss and no brush strokes. It's wonderful. And it dries within 30 minutes or less. You can go ahead and put your next coat on. So this has 2 coats, and I'm going to put a 3rd on there. As with this, this is the one my daughter did her first time ever trying it, and so I'm varnishing it for her. And you can probably, I don't know if you can see the gloss on that or not, but I'm going to put a 3rd coat on that too. And I have a couple other ones that actually have 2 coats, and I need to put the 3rd one on. I mean, this has 1 coat, I need to put a 2nd coat on. So anyway, what I'm doing is using, now Michelle had cloths that she had gotten. I'm not sure if they were microfiber or just plain cotton cloths from the dollar store that she was cutting up. You need to see her video. I'll try and link it in the description. So I've got this sponge. It's a staining sponge, and I've got it in a Ziploc to keep it nice and moist. And it's pretty saturated and as a varnish as it is right now. So I'm going to continue using that same sponge and apply the varnish with that. And I'm going to show you how we do it, or how I'm doing it anyway, right? So let me move these bottles a little bit. So this is my Josana glass varnish. Now I also have, because she also has shown in that video where she used a polyacrylic gloss with a 50-50 water to polyacrylic. She prefers the Josana, according to that video. She prefers the Josana because it is also UV protectant, and it's good for outside use too. So I'm figuring if any of the paintings get put in a situation where they've got direct sunlight on them, then I'm going to use the Josana too. So that's what we're doing. Don't want to shake it up too much, just give it a little whoopsie-doo. Okay, now let me get my sponge out of my little zippy. It is pretty well saturated, and not even sure if I need to put more product down anyway, but I'm going to put a little bit down. This is a pretty good size painting here. So we will, oops, I need that. I need that. Quit moving stuff out of your way. Okay, here we go with the first one. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to put a squirt down in the middle because, like I said, I probably don't need too much. Now, this is the one that I was using on this painting. As you can see, some of the pigments have come off on the sponge. That's the white side. I'm going to use this side again and just rub it around. Just massage it into the painting as she put it. Not forgetting the sides. Getting the sides done also, so they're nice and pretty and glossy. And when this is done, this should be a very nice high gloss to this, because this is the third coat. Now I do see at times where she goes in circles, so and I'm hoping the strokes that I'm seeing, the brush, it's not brush strokes, it's just the lines that this is leaving will level out pretty good. She was also doing a circular pattern, so maybe I'll finish off with the circular pattern. Okay, let's move that aside. There's enough on this sponge right now that I'm going to go ahead and use it on this smaller canvas, because this is just a little, I don't even know, it might be a 9 by 12, maybe. I'm just going to go ahead and use the same side of that sponge. Whoops, maybe I'll flip it. Oh yeah, there's still plenty of product on this to continue using, since I did put it in that Ziploc. Now, according to the directions, this stuff is will clean up with soap and water. So I don't know if I should just toss this when I'm good and done with it, or if I should try cleaning it up. But you know, these sponges, you can get packs of them at, for instance, Harbor Freight, and I think they're like $4. Wait a minute, maybe it was $6 for a package. Anyway, she says something about that in her video also. Okay, I think this is good. So I think it's going to be a very nice little shine on that when it's done. We'll set that one aside. Now for Big Mama here. I'm going to put some more Josania down on there. Not a lot. And just work it around into the corners, not forgetting the sides. I was amazed at how easy and quick this was. I was dreading it so much doing these paintings. I'm like, oh, I've got to get some of these finished because they're just hanging around my studio collecting dust, which, by the way, to prep your canvas prior to doing this, you're going to want to take some of the baby wipes and wipe your canvas off really good with the baby wipe first to make sure there isn't any dust particles on the canvas prior to you varnishing them. And I think you should do that with just about any kind of finish that you're going to be using. I know one thing, when I was using the resin, oh my, if you've got any bit of oil, whether it's from your hands or from, especially if you use silicone, which I never do, then you really, really have to be vigilant on getting that oil off of the canvas, or you will have big pock marks on just places where it just would not adhere. That oil basically comes up through, and whether it's from your fingertips from touching the painting or not, just make sure that you wipe the canvas down really good, or wash it with Dawn soap if you've used any kind of silicone oil, for sure. Okay, let's move this out of the way. I think we're done with that one. Now, these two. This, this one here, this was a combination cloud swipe, cloud pearl pour swipe, whatever. And I was just doing a swipe through it, and this, I'm not sure I even like this painting, but we're going to go ahead and continue to use what is left over on this sponge without putting any more down. Now this, on this particular painting, would be its second coat. Those other ones I did just now, those were third coats. So those should be just beautiful when they dry, which won't take long, like I mentioned. Okay, let's see. Take a good look and see if you've got everything covered, because it's not really good to go over it when it's starting to dry. Yeah, looks good. Now this one, yeah, I think I had my first coat on this next one. Come on, scooch. So let's do this one. I think I might put down just a tad more on this one. And it really does bring out the colors to do this and finish your artwork like this. It seriously makes the colors pop out at you, especially on these ones where I have the fluorescent colors, the luminous violets and that sort of thing. Really helps those colors just pop out of the canvas at you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I got that good. Okay, so there we go. We got third coats on those and 2 coats on these now. And you know, the thing about it is I was a little bit leery because when I would do them earlier with my first coat, I was like, oh, looks like there's strokes on there where you can see where the sponge was going across there, but they ended up looking beautiful. So I'm really happy with this and how easy and how quick it is. I'm thoroughly impressed. So we're going to let these dry. We'll come back and take a look at what 3 coats of Josanya varnish will do to a painting. Okay, and then I can get busy resining. I'm sorry, I'm not going to resin it. I have another painting that I really like that I was thinking about resining, and I'll show that to you in just a moment. And I think we'll go ahead and do the varnish on it instead. So, okay, be back. Okay, so this right here is one of my I have my crazy Dutch pour series, you might say. I'm going to start with dusting it off with a baby wipe. Wow, once I get that wet, you can just see that luminous violet and that luminous orange all in there come to life. It is so pretty. I like that. I'm not saying that this is a terrific pour that I did, but I do love the colors in it. So we're wiping it off with the baby wipe, getting all the dust off of it. Okay. And we will be using the Josanya gloss varnish. I have my sponge that I'd been using. It's pretty saturated. Even still, I'm going to pour some more on the painting. And it should be ready to go. And just take the sponge and start working it around. Oh wow, it just, as soon as it glosses this painting, those colors just come to life. What I've also learned through some of these amazing artists on YouTube is that if your painting starts to sag a little bit in the center, if it doesn't seem tight anymore, to take a spray bottle and spray the back of it, and that should immediately start to tighten it up. I'm working my sides, making sure I got my sides done really good. This is not a deep edge canvas. It's just a normal, regular, standard level 1 stapled back canvas. Probably one of my value packs. I don't know if this size comes in a value pack or not, but okay, now I'm going to run across it with solid swipes. I'm barely pushing with this sponge. So, and Michelle was saying to do circular motions. So that is what I'm going to end up with. Okay. Now, it's not going to be long. This is going to dry fairly quickly. And then I can come back and give it a second coat. This is the one that I was thinking about doing a resin finish on. I just am not mentally prepared to open up those resin bottles yet and start mixing. You know, the varnish has a smell, and I have a air filter going, a pretty good size air filter going, because you want a well ventilated area to do any of this kind of varnishing or finishing. I don't know if you can see that. It's already getting a nice little shine to it. Very pretty. I am excited to see this when it's totally finished so I can hang it. This one's going in my sunroom, so, which is also a good reason for the Josanya, since it is good for outside or in the sunlight. So yeah, we'll be back shortly to give this a second coat, and then I have 3 smaller paintings right here that I need to give their second coat and then third coat on these 2. Yeah, so we'll be back. Okay, and we are back in the studio. I'm pretty much done on these as far as doing some varnishing, finishing these paintings. As you can see, it has done a great job. This has 3 coats on it. It's really pulled out these luminous colors dramatically. See if I can get it to focus a little more, how pretty that is. And now you can see the gloss. It's got a beautiful finish to it. There are no brush strokes that I can see. I have here a level 3 gallery wrapped. I'm thinking about putting an additional coat on this. It still has a nice sheen, as you can tell. It's a gallery wrapped deep edge canvas. And then here, let me show you. This is a with the white. You might could see the sheen better on that. You know, don't judge these paintings. It's the varnish we're talking about. So yeah, I'm really happy that I've watched her video to see how to deal with this. Then when I'm done, I just work my push pins out. Not a problem. I just work them out. I peel off my tape. This is dry, so I can turn it upside down. Peel off my tape. Sometimes you gotta be a little easy with these standard stapled back canvases. This is just a level 1 from Michaels. Okay. I just peel it off. I sign the back of my canvases, so, and then I just sign the back. And this is ready to go. We are done. So I've looked for a economical, quick and easy, less messy, more efficient way to finish my canvases, and I found it. So this is how I'll be doing them from now on. Now, who doesn't love a resin job? All right, so I've probably resined 12.5 different paintings through this past year of 9 months to a year that I've been trying this out, and they're beautiful. I mean, come on, how could you not love that shine? I'm sorry for that ring light glare. It's beautiful, but It's a little bit more expensive, quite a bit messier, not quite as efficient. And if you do not understand how to do this, it's going to be even worse on you, because you're going to be disappointed. Like, for instance, this looks beautiful, but yet I was still in the learning process. You can see where it started to come back a little bit from the edge. There's an air bubble or two in this. Now, I have some that I resined that turned out really well. I mean, I was happy with them. But this is just an example of, I love this painting, and I love the resin, how it makes it just even more beautiful. But if you don't know how to use the resin properly, then you're going to mess up your favorite painting probably. And if you use silicone, you must wash off the surface of your canvas. That, I don't ever use silicone, but the oils from your fingertips will do the same thing. The resin won't stick to that, and I found that out even resining some bases. Oh my gosh, the mess. And the aggravation in turn of the pock marks that it would leave, because it's not going to stick because of the oil. And that's something that you have to do. Even if you're going to varnish, you have to wash your canvas off. Make sure you've got all the oils off of it, and then continue to use your gloves, because the oil from your hand will get on there. So anyway, there you go. That's the end of my little video here. I'll probably put another coat on this gallery wrapped one and continue varnishing a lot of the art I have hanging around the studio. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I truly appreciate it, and I'm so happy that I watched her video. Thank you, Michelle from Grateful Creations, for posting that video and helping me figure out a good way, economical, less messy, more efficient way to finish off my paintings. Thank you, and thanks for joining.